Hello and welcome to the G-Hole Podcast, greatest hour of listening ever. I'm Ray DeVito. I'm one of the co-hosts. Bob Biggerstaff is the other. This is just the introduction. And today we had Katharyn Henson on. And she's great, man. I've known her for a few years now. She's got an interesting history. She works at a BDSM dungeon in New York City, and she's like the office manager. And that's always interesting to hear about. Tales, stories from there. Also, she grew up in Sacramento, California. We had a lot of talk about her growing up in Sacramento. She's overcome meth. I did not know she was buying it from her best friend's dad. That was news. So we get into all that. Also, check her out, man. She's going over to Edinburgh Fringe Festival. You can follow her on Instagram and Twitter at EwGirlYouNasty. That's EwGirlYouNasty. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the G-Hole Pod. All right, enjoy. Okay, hello. Welcome to the G-Hole Podcast. Greatest hour of listening ever. What's going on, Bob?
Step up to the G-Hole.
Are you stepping? You getting your steps in with your Fitbit?
I'm only sorry, Ray. I'm getting on my phone just to show her the picture of the logo of the podcast.
Jesus. Jesus.
Here we go.
Ooh, not wow. Oh, I feel like I've watched a porn that looks like this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Nice.
Because that's a G-hole.
Yeah.
How are you, Katharyn? Katharyn Henson, everybody.
I'm good. Have you seen those glory hole porns? The ones where it's like a whole place and like you go and you buy a ticket and then there's like a million different holes?
No.
Okay.
No, I have not seen those.
What?
Bob, have you?
Well, from the...
Where are these porns that you've seen?
Yeah,
where are you watching those?
Yeah, I mean,
But it's just random wieners sticking through the holes that women...
Well...
The ones I watch are from the standpoint of how a man would want it to be.
Well, here's the thing. There's random legs, and then there's random holes with mouths, and then there's random holes with titty fucking. And where am I watching that?
Random butts.
I'm an X videos gal.
X videos? All right.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
the website, xvideos.com.
Yeah, I mean, it's all free.
Sure.
You know?
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you just type in glory hole, and I want to say it's definitely like a European filmed porn. But yeah, there's multiple ones like this. You buy a ticket from an old lady, and then you go into something that looks like a sort of larger shack.
There's actually a build-up before it where someone buys a purchase and then goes
Yeah, you got to
into
buy the
other
ticket
room.
from the lady.
I guess from the websites I'm looking... I mean, UJizz is my go-to.
UJizz.
Yes.
I've never even heard of that.
YOUJIZZ. It's perfect. It's
Oh,
perfect
UJizz.
for the iPhone, iPad.
Wait, why? Why more
It's
perfect?
just I've looked at some other sites and I don't like them because I use my phone a lot.
I only use my phone.
Yeah, so
I'm
UJizz is my go-to one, and the glory hole things I've never seen. Most of the, I mean, sometimes you'll find clips that are 25 minutes, 45 minutes. Some of them are 5 minutes. I mean, I guess there's all lengths, no pun intended.
Yep.
But I've never seen I've only just seen like where it's just immediately starting up, where there's either like a butt, like a woman's butt sticking through and then just some guy walks up and starts fucking it.
Yeah.
Or there's a dick stuck through the hole, and a girl is like, "Oh, what's this?"
Yeah, this is like a whole thing. And there's dudes, and they're waiting, and it's... Yeah, I don't know. You know, I personally would never want to participate, so I often reflect on why do I enjoy watching
Sure.
this.
I've never seen any of them.
Oh yeah, no, I have I don't want to participate in.
Isn't that sort of the interesting
in
thing
any of
about
that
porn?
stuff.
I mean, I watch a bunch of stuff I would never want to participate in.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I can understand that. The funny thing is the Japanese ones that are I guess they're glory hole, but it'll be like it's like a game show, and it's supposed to be like the mom's supposed to figure out which one is her son.
Oh,
What-
brutal.
Dude, that is...
Yeah.
I would
But
totally watch
it's
that.
a game show, and they know what they're doing. Because there was actually some.
You guys actually watch porn for the
porn
stories.
where-
That's what's weird. Like,
Well,
I
No,
don't-
but I
sometimes-
saw it and I was like, why is this glory hole? And it wasn't like a glory hole where there was. I mean, it was a night. You could tell it was in a TV studio, and it was a game show. But like there was an actual case where, or not an actual. I don't know if it was an actual court case, but I saw something one time that popped up. It was a news story where somebody they tricked some sister into blowing her brother through a glory hole.
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something.
I saw that news story. That's real
Which
life.
they can't
That's fucked
show.
up.
That's the other thing. They
No.
can't show it because if that's actually real, you can't show that because that's that's illegal.
But I mean, I watch it for the story, not in the sense where it's like I don't watch the 20 minutes leading up to the actual fucking, but like you get the idea. You're like, oh, here's the scenario, and then I'm like, okay, and then you get in this weird mindset, and that I guess it's the scenario that's the turn on.
I've never watched it for the story. If I'm going to go on Pornhub, I'm going to just do my business and get the hell out of there. I don't need to know the backstories. I don't need to know.
Well, because regular
What's that?
sex just becomes sort of boring. So then isn't porn the allure of like you can heighten everything?
By the way,
since you're not
Katharyn,
actually
yeah,
participating?
See other stuff you haven't done or.
Yeah.
Katharyn works in a dominatrix dungeon, by the way.
Oh, do you really?
Well, I'm the manager.
She's the receptionist.
Yeah, the receptionist,
The
phone
people
girl,
call.
manager. Yeah.
Nice.
People call,
And
she takes their name and their address and their company credit cards.
Yeah. And I mean, I've noticed like sort of even the porn I watch has because I've like Googled now BDSM. There's some stuff I'm like, but like, I've now sort of entered that world for my pornographic viewing as well.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never participated in anything crazy.
No, I haven't. I don't want to do anything with like multiple people or anything. That is no even another guy. I'm not into.
Even another
Either another guy.
I mean, like if there was a girl and like a threesome with another guy, I wouldn't want to.
Most men wouldn't. Or I mean, I say that because
I've
I
never-
feel like it challenges a lot of. I mean, not to, but it does. I've noticed challenge the masculinity of some men. They're like,
I don't want to see
never another guy.
It's not
you
even
know?
like a gay. It's not even like if you want to say
about two
homophobic thing or
chicks?
something. It's just of course.
Yeah. See, yeah.
That's the cool one.
That's the cool.
What's your craziest sex stories while we're at it?
Well, let me get back to what you guys were talking about the movies.
He's a
Like,
virgin.
They don't make porn movies. Not to be an old fart, but like they used to. Like they used to, like the porn in like the 70s and the 80s was like they were making like movies. They were making like an hour and a half where there were actual stories. They do make
I saw
some of them
Boogie
now.
Nights. I know the history of
They
it.
made like
I love Boogie Nights.
They made a multi-million-dollar like porn knockoff of Pirates of the Caribbean, like a special effects. It's
Wow.
strictly like Sci-Fi Channel shitty, but they made like it cost like a millions of dollars. I forget what it's called.
I've never been that into it. It's like
No,
whatever.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
I'm just
no,
gonna
and this
get
was
a boner
recent.
and
This
jizz
was
and
more
blah.
recent, but like they used to actually make porn movies
Yeah.
that.
And by the way, this is the only reason why I don't like
You
the
know,
title
Deep
of the
Throat is a-
shows
Deep
because
Throat is an actual
immediately
movie.
it goes right into stupid porn talk. It's like there's other shit
I mean,
going on.
You
Well,
lead it that way, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, that logo is quite literally a glory hole.
But you were
that is perfect though that you recognized it immediately.
I don't do a lot of one night stands, but this is years ago doing a casino in Arizona or New Mexico, and there's a waitress that decided she was into me, and
A
we're
single
back.
mother of 4.
Yeah, where was the casino?
Arizona.
This is somewhere in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. All
or-
right. Yeah, single mother of 4.
And anyway, she kept scratching me, so she's putting marks like all over my back and everything. Like that's what she was into. Like she would like punch me, like she wanted to like.
She would punch me.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly. Yeah.
And she's
Scratching
like,
to
"Oh, this
punching.
is just what I'm into, or whatever." So now there's marks all over me, and we're in a casino. I'm like, "We're going down, and we're gonna get some coffee or something. We're going where there's cameras, and we're both sitting, so there is video evidence that we are both getting along."
Sounds like this is more for your benefit.
Yeah, at like 3:30. Yeah, but she was like the freakiest girl I've ever been with.
With the
where she-
scratching.
Yeah, like she was like scratching, like she's like.
With the scratching and the punching and the goo.
Yeah. But I was like, we're going somewhere. Like, you can't just leave. We have to go where there is a camera.
I gotta hang out with this chick.
I'm going to look in the camera while you're standing
gonna
next to me.
wave.
We're going to wave. Everything's cool. I'm going to buy you
You're
a
the one
sandwich.
that was injured. Well, she wasn't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I don't know what people are going to
Can I
like.
ask about the sandwich? Why were you going to buy her a sandwich?
I just wanted to like it be seen that
Because
we
he's
were
classy.
Yeah. That we're hanging out and we're being cool and everybody's on the same page. I just wanted that. Just what it reminds me of that stupid, that Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah, this
bit.
sounds like. Yeah, but this sounds
Whereas, like, he has to
you're
go
the woman
get a
in this
receipt.
situation. You're
Yeah,
the
well,
woman.
I just didn't want. I didn't know what her. But you know that Patrice O'Neill bit where he's like, "I'm going to go get a receipt." Like
Not a
when something
fan.
goes down. Yeah. But that's pretty much how I felt. Like, I wanted to make sure there was evidence that the two of us were hanging out afterwards and that we are cordial and that we're waving, So that's just fun.
So when you go to the police and say, she scratched me, you have video evidence?
Dude, I was all marked up. Like, yeah, she beat the shit. And you know what's weird? I kind of like that. I like when a girl's rough and, like, when she's in charge. I just don't... Like we went through this before. Dominatrix, I'd be into it, but like the stomping on the balls and shit, and like
I feel like you're more in the switch realm, which is where I lie, which is like the idea that the power dynamic shifts.
Yeah, I like the
sometimes
woman
you're in
being
charge,
control.
sometimes she's in charge.
I like sex. I like the
Yeah.
woman to be in charge. I don't like.
Well, then I guess you
like
are a
her
sub.
bossing me. Yeah. I'm fine with it. But here's the deal: most women that I date, like, don't. You know what I mean? Because most women are like kind of like girly, like like they want to be the ones that are subbed. I guess. I don't know.
Well, there's all different kinds of people.
So your craziest sex story, Katharyn? What do you got?
Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like craziest.
Or most
I mean-
interesting.
If you feel comfortable. You don't
Well,
have
no,
to-
I mean, I don't feel uncomfortable.
You don't
I
have
just,
to
I
tell us
just
that.
don't even
Katharyn
know
never
if it's
feels
that.
uncomfortable.
I just don't even. Yeah, it's like I feel uncomfortable in a
She's
church.
management.
I mean, nothing. I don't know. Like, there was a guy that I liked where we just like put things in each other's butts, and I was gonna peg him and then leave him, but I never got
Like
the
your
chance.
water bottle?
Yeah,
That's
this
a
is
weird,
a collapsible water bottle. It's for travel. I'm going to Edinburgh, so I'm buying.
Yeah, what's
things.
going on in Edinburgh? Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm
the
doing
state.
the Fringe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a theme show that you're doing?
No, I'm just doing an hour of stand-up, and I'm calling it "You Girl, You Nasty," which is my brand, as you know.
That
Ray.
is your brand? All right.
And yeah, I'm gonna be there for the month, and that should be fun. And maybe I'll get a crazy sex story out of it.
Now is Edinburgh like? Do you have to bark people to get into your shows? Do you
Yeah,
get paid like based on?
I'm doing
do you get
the
money
free
just for
one.
going there? Do you get money like based on what tickets you sell? How does
So it's my understanding there.
I know
are,
it's probably different for everybody.
yeah, there's two. There's the paid world and the free world.
Sure.
And the pay world, you pay for your venue, and then I guess you sell tickets. In the free world, they gave me a venue, but I have to, hire people to basically get people in for me.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to stand out there and do it too, to save money. And clearly, Ray met me when I started comedy. I was barking, so
You've talked to other people. Well, I mean, that's a different. I also think it's a different thing. Barking at Edinburgh as opposed to barking outside of some bar in New York City.
Harder.
A little bit of different. Well, no, I mean, it's like I think that people know it's like a real show.
Yeah.
In Edinburgh.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm going to
Probably not easy still, and it is awkward. I mean, I hate barking, but
Yeah, tell me about it.
What's your theme? Like, do you have a theme?
No, it's just
you?
It's my stand-up. I mean, it's what we're talking about right now. I work
sometimes
at
people do stand up
Yeah.
at it. Sometimes they do like it's like a one man. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say it's a
I
one
thought
man
it had
show
to be
anyway.
theme oriented. That's
I
what I
mean,
thought. I don't
Sometimes
know.
they do, sometimes they don't.
the way I pitched it was like, my act, which I think they were like, oh, this is thematic enough. I mean, it's like it.
Did they see your act?
I sent a
That
7
might
minute
have sounded
clip.
rude. I didn't mean to, if that sounded.
That's hilarious.
But you-
And
you know what-
we
you know
just
what I
met.
mean.
Yeah, no. Have they seen your
Well,
that
they see
crap you call an act?
If they saw like a tape of her act or a set, then they'd be like, okay, we see where this is going.
I sent a 7 minute tape. It included I did my bit about fisting. I mean, I sold it like it's you girl, you nasty,
Right,
and
right.
I'm like,
have you ever fisted?
no, but I worked in the place.
Right, in the dungeons. A lot
Yeah.
of your material about working in the.
Some of it,
Dominatrix,
I would say
joint?
I have about 15 minutes.
That would be
of
the
dungeon
nasty
stuff.
part.
Yeah, but then I have like the smoking meth stuff and the eating dog food stuff and
That's
the
right.
fucking
She's been on
losers
meth
and
before.
whatever. And
Oh, really?
yeah, so I put all that together and I was like, oh, and like turning my dog into a skeleton. It's like, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna tell them what I joke about. And
What do you mean you
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
your dog into a skeleton?
Well, like my dog is getting older, and I'm starting to think what's gonna happen when he dies. And my friend Matthew, when he was in college, he was in this anatomy class, and he found this dead cat, and he brought it to his apartment and boiled it down and strung the bones together. So I was thinking,
What?
my friend could do that to my dog, so I don't have to say goodbye. Rather than just like throw. You know what you do in New York?
I like
when
how
you're-
that is
And
the
then just have a
weirdest.
string of your dog's bones.
Yeah, like as a skeleton, he could stand there like a skeleton.
Did he put the cat's bones together like a skeleton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he got an A.
That sounds like some fucking Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
Why? Do you know what you do in New York when your pet dies? You put it in a black trash bag and you label it dead animal and you throw it out with the trash. I paid far too much for this fucking animal. I had a portrait. I used some of my dungeon money. I had a portrait painted of me and this dog. I love this dog. The dog is going to die. I'm not like an insane person. I'm just like, I could have his skeleton in my apartment.
I mean, I love my mom and dad, and they're dead. I don't want their fucking bones in my apartment.
I think
wanna
it's
be-
more insane to put your, unless it's like a hamster or something, your pet in a black trash bag and label it dead dog.
Thank you. And throw it out with the trash. And guess what? This has got me thinking even more. I want to be a skeleton. I want to be mummified. Why the fuck am I going to be buried in the dirt or ground up into dust when I could be like hanging around?
Put you in that museum bodies exhibit where they like have the people where you see like their bones and
Dude,
stuff.
I don't give a shit. When I die, fucking throw my body away. I don't give a shit.
Ray's regretting letting me into his home. He was looking at me like, she's crazy. Like,
No,
she's a
but
crazy
like
person.
that is like you want the. Dude, you live in a fucking New York City apartment.
Yeah, why
There's
the-
nowhere to put fucking dog bones.
Excuse me, you have never seen my immaculately
Well, obviously,
decorated
if the dog is
bleh
going
home.
places, I mean, you know, you can stand that up in the corner or something.
Exactly. Except I'm going.
I'm not for this, by the way. Though.
I have, like, a
don't like-
mid-century-
I really don't like the idea. It sounds weird.
I have a mid-century modern situation really going on in my house, so I'm just concerned the skeleton's
Where's this
not gonna
house
go.
you have in New York City? You do not
It's
have
in
a
Harlem.
house. You live in a shitty apartment.
Actually, I do live in an apartment, and it's not shitty. You should look up photos of my home. You will be stunned. It looks like a bed and breakfast in France.
Are they on you, Jizz?
I would honestly, I would pimp out my apartment for any type of filming. It's a lovely home. I've decorated it beautifully. You'll be surprised.
I never heard of people wanting their dog's bones, but yeah, I guess I'm not surprised.
So yeah, they accepted me based on all of this.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there we go. The original
This is how you got into Edinburgh?
How big's the theater that they?
So
room, whatever.
I actually just got an email about it.
So plug
yesterday.
the theater. Let us know where you're going to be, what
It's going
the
to be at
dates
the
are.
Golf Tavern, and I'll be doing the full run. My show's at 7:15. I forgot how to say that in military time. 19:15.
Yeah.
19:15.
No military time. Air Force Junior ROTC, 9th and 10th grade. Continue.
Yeah,
Civilian.
right off the Meadows. It's going to be fun, and I'll be doing other shows out there. I've already been booked on a couple storytelling things because I think they're like, oh, look at this psycho. My posters are me sitting in noodles, obviously.
Sitting in noodles?
Yeah, in the tub of noodles. Did you ever see those photos?
No.
Oh, well, I filled my tub with ramen, and I sat in it, and I did a photo shoot. So I'll be selling calendars.
Filled your tub with ramen. What'd that cost? Like $5?
It incidentally 30. 50 packs of ramen, $30, $5 in Drano.
That's awesome.
Did you put the seasoning in too, or was it just
I
the
was
noodle?
the seasoning, Ray. I was the seasoning.
You did put the seasoning in?
It was me.
Oh, you were the seasoning.
I tried to sell the noodles on Craigslist afterwards because if I've learned anything from that dungeon, it's that everything has a price and there's something for everyone and everyone's got a weird thing.
You probably waited too long. If you had posted it beforehand,
I should have posted it
so
beforehand.
I'm assuming you didn't sell them.
I got one inquiry 2 days later, and I was like, "You're a fool!" Like these were.
I haven't saved them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't save them 2 days,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Oh, man.
So I know a lot of people who've done Edinburgh, but I've never really like gotten into a discussion with them about it. Like I saw, like there was a documentary on Netflix that Hannibal Buress did. I don't know if you saw that. It wasn't on Netflix for very long, but it was a couple years ago of him doing it, and it was funny because he's a famous comic. And I would assume because he's been in movies and TV, the people probably knew him over there. He wasn't outside barking or anything, but they showed him like one time he'd like just walked off stage because somebody was heckling him, and he was just like, "All right, I'm done." And I mean, it could have been edited, but I guess but I don't know why I said that. My point is, I don't know a lot about Edinburgh, but do you expect to make are you going to make a lot of money or?
I expect to.
Because you've probably talked to other people that have gone and said,
Yeah.
hey, this is what this person has made. I'm not famous.
I expect to make
And you don't have to say like a dollar amount, but
like 1/4 of the money I'm spending to go
Gotcha.
there back.
Oh, all right.
Because if you think about it, you're doing lodging, right, and then your plane ticket, and I'm actually
do
really
they help you out with any of this? In as far
They-
as even here's a place you can rent. We're not giving you any money for it, but here's you know what I mean?
A little, but not really. They help you with like flyer costs, like getting good deals with that.
Did you use like O'Malley's List?
That's hilarious. No, another comic
Get
helped
it?
me, which was great. I'm very excited about where I'm staying. A lot of comics are staying in dorms, which sounds like my waking fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm 31. I mean, full disclosure, I know I
Yeah,
don't
you could
look
probably
at-
stay in a hostel if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I was like, no.
Is there an
I'm-
age limit to a hostel, by the way?
I would assume there's probably
Asking for a friend.
I would assume there's probably a minimum.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're, because I mean, we've all done shows at hostels. I've never seen like people over like 35.
I had always heard the term youth hostel.
Yeah.
So, but I can't imagine. Like I did that show that guy does at that hostel.
Oh yeah, Randy Epley's thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I remember I had said, yeah, I've done a show before in a youth hostel, and I thought, wait a minute. I go, I don't think it was a place with youths like under 18. That'd be pretty weird to have a.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not.
I think I was doing a show at a child trafficking place. If it was a youth hostel.
I'm not trying to stay in a hostel or
Yeah,
a dorm.
yeah, no, that'd be horrible.
I'm staying in a home, I guess, where like the people who live there are like arts professors who, you know, like in film and whatever. And I guess they're renting out a couple other rooms, one to another comic, one to a comedy critic.
Do you know any other comics
That's
you're going
great.
with?
Mike Lemmy's going. I'm
Oh,
excited
okay.
about hanging out with him a little bit. Maggie Lally, Keenan Steiner, Sam Morrison's actually going. You were talking about
nice,
him
nice.
earlier. So there's people I know that are going. But yeah, I mean, you know, I guess that's the great part. What happens there, no one here will know
I think
or
Max,
care about.
You know Max White? That's what I was looking up.
He sounds familiar.
Max White's going. He's a New York comic here.
I don't know, I've done shows because my girlfriend was at Glasgow School of Arts many years ago. So I did Edinburgh and Glasgow. They're great. It wasn't during the festival, but they're great for comedy. It's you know what? It's like kind of like Middle America where people are just way more excited than like say New York City, where it can be kind of jaded, like doing shows here.
Well, isn't Edinburgh the biggest comedy festival in the world?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I'm pretty sure it
during
is.
the- I wasn't there
I'm
during
pretty
the
sure
festival.
it is because they.
But I did comedy there.
Like Montreal's always like the biggest. They always say the biggest festival in North America, and the only other one is. And I'm pretty sure Edinburgh is the biggest one because that's why they say North America for Montreal.
I've never been out of the country, so let's start there. Okay, I've never been out of the country. I've never left New York City for this long. I mean, I know I'm not from here, but like since I moved here, so I've been like kind of like low key panicking. You know what I mean? Like
you'll be fine. Plus, you'll know some people over there, so you'll be in it together. It's not like you're going to be fending by yourself.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
I-
it's also a place
You'll be
that
all right.
same language. So
Yeah, I mean,
You'll
I
be
just,
fine.
you know, like, I'm a creature.
exciting, though, isn't
I
it?
like
Are you
having my
excited?
base. I think I'm excited. I don't know.
When do you leave?
I'm leaving. When is this released?
Soon, I imagine. I don't know what. Just tell
I'm
me when
leaving
you're
July
leaving.
28th.
Does it change?
'Cause some-
That's how it's based
Some-
on when this podcast
3
comes
weeks
out.
from recording.
Well, because
Yeah.
maybe you're like,
If this is released today, then I'm leaving tomorrow.
maybe this.
If this is released on July 17th, then I'm leaving July 18th.
21 days from this recording.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I like
God.
how it
What a
depends
fucking
on.
nightmare.
What are you flying? Frontier? Spirit?
I'm doing Delta. I'm fucking great with credit cards. I'm a fancy bitch. I have a travel credit card. I spent enough money on it. I had my entire flight paid for.
Great.
I'm like a psychopath with my credit. Like, if you want to talk to me about something I'm excited about, my credit score. Holy shit.
I have no idea what my credit score is.
Oh, I have like an 810 right now, and that's
Well,
pretty
also-
goddamn
that
close.
flight's how much was that flight? $1,500?
I spent $1,000.
That's a good
and I upgraded,
That's a good
yeah.
deal.
I
And you got it
upgraded.
for free. Did you
And I
say
got
you
it
get
for free.
Yeah.
from
Oh,
all
you can't beat
from all
that.
the bullshit I bought.
You upgraded to what?
Instead of like, you know, you have that one area, and then they're like, you'll get your seat when you get here.
Sure.
And whenever I selected my seat, I have leg
Nice.
room. I got a checked bag and
Yeah,
all
because
this bullshit.
Well, how long of a flight is that?
7 hours.
You'll be fine. It'll
Somebody-
be a good
I'm gonna
time.
need, like,
I did
a
a 14-hour to Korea one time, and that was horrible because I was in like it was a huge plane, middle row of seats, but the middle row had like
No.
eight seats.
I have anxiety.
Well, you
even
look
hearing
like
that.
you're a big guy, so any seat
No,
on a
this
plane
was like
for
this.
you is not
This
going
was
to be fun.
no, it wasn't even the width. It was the fact that the seats were, the rows were closer together than any other. This is the biggest plane.
The answer
and
is
the rows
no.
were the smallest, like from, your leg room was the smallest of any plane I've ever been on in my life.
These
and
are
it was
like
the longest
scenes in
flight.
movies. I've seen this in a movie, and I hate it.
I couldn't believe it. Luckily,
do
there
it.
wasn't anybody sitting in the seat in front of me, so it wasn't tilted back. But that was 14 hours.
No,
Terrible.
no. I
What's wrong,
feel.
you're wrong. It is what it is. What are you going to do? You're stuck on the dumb
No, I still
plane you're
did it.
going on. So
I know,
you
I
got
know.
no say in it. So
No, well, so I've selected my seat. Is my
Well, there
point.
you go. You save money on the flight. I mean, that certainly helps.
and how do you have good Katharyn's got a history. What was your history in as I know, you've got you've
everybody has a
overcome
history.
drug addictions.
Yeah.
All right. Where was this at? What city? Is this in Nevada?
The meth.
Yeah.
The meth was in Sacramento. I say
Sacramento?
Reno in the joke because there is meth in Reno, and I'm from Reno. But
So how'd you get into it in Sacramento? What happened? What happened in your life that put you down that road?
we were bored. It's really. I mean, it's not. It's like when I think about it. I was telling someone about it, and I guess I'm telling
And now you have
about it
amazing
now.
credit. You went from meth in Sacramento
yeah.
to
My credit score could make me come.
Well, she wasn't.
all right?
She wasn't buying the meth with her credit cards. She wasn't that dumb.
Yeah. And,
So
well,
how'd you get into it? What happened in Sacramento? How'd you end up in
dealer
Sacramento
didn't have a
from
square.
Nevada?
Well, that was something against my will. I mean, my mother moved me there. We lived in Auburn. We moved to Sacramento. I ran away to Chico. I got sent away to Arizona and Utah. I got back knowing that I just needed to learn how to lie more and better to get away with
This
stuff.
is all in Sacramento?
Yeah.
So how old were you? Who were you hanging out with? Who are the people that
Names.
For the meth?
no, not names, but how did you know them?
I'm
Yeah. How'd you get introduced? I'm curious how you get introduced to that.
So I think I was hanging out with a lot of bands, and then I was just dabbling with some like cocaine, and then
What kind of bands?
I never liked
Classical
this music.
music.
Pearl
I'm
Jam. It's
assuming.
me and
Yeah,
Pearl Jam.
The violists.
Heard of the Goo Goo Dolls? I was with them.
The horn section of Real Big Fish.
She was jacked up on B12.
The Muddy Muddy Boss Tones.
They were like, this was never my type of music, but like hardcore bands. Like there was like a group of kids called Scene Kids, and I sort of looked like one of them, and I dated one of them. You know, where they have like black hair, and they kind of look like emo kids, but they're a little more like,
Intense,
whatever.
yeah.
And so like a lot of these hardcore bands. So I was doing a lot of drinking, dabbling with cocaine, snorting random pills, whatever. And like basically just one day I was buying cocaine from a friend of mine, and he was like, well, we don't actually have any coke. Do you want to try some meth? It's basically, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And
That's
so,
how they get you.
So then my friend and I took it home, and we chopped it up, and we started snorting it, and it burns like a motherfucker. And yeah, we were just up all night on meth, and I was like, meth's kind of cool. And then
What year is this?
I was 17. I had just turned 7. I might have I was 16 going on 17.
Dude, that's that's intense as shit. Like I barely started drinking at 17. I mean, I made up for it since. But.
I mean-
She was hanging out with a bad crowd, Ray.
They weren't honestly. I don't even.
Drugs are bad.
When I think about it, I'm like, none of us were even all that bad. Like we'd go to the mall, we'd like pedal for money, go buy some meth. Just
What do you mean
smoke-
pedal? How'd
Yeah,
you
if you
pedal?
hang
Like
out
we'd
with-
stand outside the mall and be like, "Hey, we got to get back to Roseville. Do you have any gas money for us?" Like we'd spend money, but then we'd also we were like, well, we could get money for free and then go buy some more meth, and then we just sort of drive around and listen to music and talk about nothing. We'd buy the meth from my friend's dad. His wife was a night nurse.
From your friend's dad.
Well,
That's
we buy
not
it from
good.
other people, but it was very like, I want to know where you kids are getting it from.
Right.
To know that you are not doing something that could hurt.
So
you.
I
he's
want
like,
to make
to
sure
make-
this is good math, guys.
To make
Yeah.
sure that you're all right, the friend said, listen, they're going to buy meth anyway, so I'll be the one that sells it to them.
Yeah,
Wow.
all,
That is insane
Isn't-
parenting,
isn't
but
that
in
insane?
a dumb way, I
Isn't
could
that
see
funny?
that being logical.
right. Well, so like we bought it from other people too. Like I remember one time we drove out to Rancho Cordova and
Like, listen, man, I know people that got better meth than your dad.
Are you guys buying? Are you guys buying this meth from Spider or Hamburger?
that's funny.
Now, Spider, you don't buy from Spider. Buy it from Hamburger. He's good.
Dad, your meth sucks, dude. There's a homeless dude that sells way better meth than you.
I mean, so this man, he lived in a normal home. he had a normal wife and a daughter who was my age, who was my friend, and then a son who was like
I saw
8.
Breaking Bad. I know how it works.
Well, it was it was sort of like
He was
that.
overcoming cancer. I get it.
It's well, she was a night nurse, so she would go to work.
Oh, she
and
did
then-
it from work.
No, she had nothing to do with it. She had no idea what was happening. She'd leave, and then we'd all be getting high on meth while this woman's at work. And I
Just
remember
snorting it or smoking
No, we
it?
started smoking it. So I had like, and I miss the art of smoking meth. I really do. You have like a crack pipe, and it has like a bowl on the end.
Right,
and so you
right.
put the crystals in it, and then you have to twist it and melt it down and hold the lighter like away from it. And you have to be pretty careful because if you burn it, the drugs will black hole and disappear immediately.
Oh, my drugs are gone.
Well, no, for someone who wants to smoke
course.
that
Yeah,
method.
yeah, it's a huge
and
deal,
and
yeah.
for people who are twacked out, it could cause
Sure.
violence. But if you were really good at smoking meth, you would blue flame it, and you would hold the blue flame right up to the bottom of the pipe while twisting, and it would just like create this billow of smoke. And
What are
you
you
would inhale it.
twisting?
You're
What does
twisting the
twist
pipe.
mean? Oh,
So
I
the
got it.
drugs
Oh, you're
like are
rolling
sort
in
of
your finger.
they're
Okay.
melting and sloshing, and whatever, and it's how you melt it. But then you could take a really big hit, and it felt great, and you looked really cool while doing it. Of course, that's why I smoked meth. But
to look cool.
If you just know, it's amazing when Ray was like, "Where'd you get it?" It's like you can get it if you know, if you know anybody,
Well,
anybody.
you
even
know
just,
Becky's dad,
even just
apparently.
even
Yeah.
just somebody that like smokes pot. Like so. Oh yeah, this guy does this guy does that. They talk to the guy that gets pot. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're. It might be obviously it's easier in some places, but like she said, she wasn't. It's not like you were. When I said bad crowd, it's not like you're necessarily hanging out with a bad
that's
crowd.
what I mean. What's crazy to me, it's like we all looked normal. We're a bunch of white kids. Like some of us have long hair, But like if you put us in a group, I mean, we started not looking normal for sure after like smoking enough meth. But like you're kind of like, oh, there's a bunch of kids like whatever. And
Did you still make it to high school? Did you get through high school?
I graduated from high school. I got into college.
How was your grades?
They were fine. They were fine near the end. I had like A's and B's mostly.
They were
maybe a C.
meth-tacular.
You did
mean,
better than me in high school,
my-
and I wasn't on meth.
One of my good friends,
I did way worse, and I was sober.
He showed up to school to take a test that he doesn't remember taking that he got an A. He's like, I don't know what this was all about. I don't remember this test. I mean, the dad, though, the weird thing about this father was like, so we had cameras set up
Are you still
outside his
friends with
house.
any of these people, by the way?
I am
You made
friends-
sure you were buying meth from the correct dealer. Here's the weird thing about him, though.
I'm friends with two of them.
When he wasn't selling meth to his daughter's friends.
Yeah,
This is when he was being weird.
Two of them, two of them were tattooed on my body. They were like my core group.
You really have their tattoos? Are you being?
It's like a Polaroid of all of our feet coming out of the trunk of a car.
Where's
so-
this tattoo at? You
On my
gotta-
ribs.
It's on your ribs. Okay.
That sounds like the ending of a horrible story.
That was a great day. It was New
she
Year's
likes
Day.
bones. Did you not hear the beginning of this fucking podcast?
Feet coming out of the trunk of a car.
It was New Year's Day.
How
we
does
were
this
on
meth story
mushrooms.
end?
Is this Wizard of Oz?
It was wonderful. We were being driven around because we were high on mushrooms, and we were able to stare out of the back door because the seats went down in the back, so our feet were in the trunk, but we were staring out while our friend drove us around, and it was quite lovely. And that was after the meth days, so things came together. The daughter I know works in a rehab now, which I guess makes sense.
Right.
And the other guy,
this my whole life.
the other
Yeah.
guy was my boyfriend. He followed me here. I believe he's now divorced and is fine. Like he was going to be like a model and stuff. Like, in fact, I mean, him dating me sort of saved his life. I'm not going to
my
toot my
dream
own
too.
horn, but like his father had been a meth addict. His little brother is so addicted to drugs and whatever.
Still to this day?
To this day, that the family moved and didn't tell him. And he's been to jail, so now he's jacked. He's horrifying. Nobody wants to see that guy again. I don't want to see that
This
guy
is your
again.
ex-boyfriend.
This is one of my ex-boyfriend's little brother.
Oh, so this is not your ex-boyfriend. This is his
No, it's
little
his
brother.
My
brother.
ex-boyfriend, I smoked meth with, but
Right,
he
right.
followed me here when I moved here.
He's the
so
guy that wanted to be the male model.
he is the male model.
Is he that good looking?
He's pretty good looking. Yeah, he's got a weird look. He's pretty good looking.
I'm curious to
He's
see
definitely
what this
cute.
dude.
Well, I have a photo. I'm just going to show it to you, and if you want it, you can use it You can throw it on this podcast because it's very funny. This was right after we kind of cleaned up our act. This was the summer we were cleaning up our act.
You guys all decided to get clean together?
No, I decided I needed to get clean. I decided I needed to get clean the day my boyfriend and my friend with the long hair is tattooed on my body. We spent like 3 hours in a Walmart, high on meth, trying to spend my friend's gift card.
So you weren't out of place.
Yeah, exactly. We were in the perfect place. And then my friend realized all he wanted to do was buy a toothbrush to brush his teeth. And then he haggled with the manager of the Walmart saying, I would like to purchase this toothbrush on this gift card, and I would like the rest in cash. And that whole thing. And he talked his way into that. And they never give cash back for fucking gift cards.
How much was the gift
anywhere.
card?
It was like $25. So, and then we were in the car, and I was like, what did we used to do before we did meth? And then we did this like equation, like meth is greater than drinking, meth is greater than pool. And I just had this moment where I was like, I can't smoke meth anymore. I need to quit now. I have to go.
What year is this?
I'm 17 and I've gotten into college in New York City. And I'm like, I can't move to New York addicted to meth. And that's insane. So I need to stop smoking meth.
So you only did
today.
So you were like 2 years into drugs then, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I had been sent away when I was 15, so I had been drinking since I was 14 and dabbling in drugs. My 15th year is really when the drugs started.
I'm
Here,
not a fan of this dad that was selling you guys.
So this was us right after we cleaned up our act. See, I told you it'd be worth it. Look at that fucking haircut.
You look like fucking Pat Benatar.
That's so funny. Which one are you?
No,
See, he's got like a male model-y vibe.
That looks like...
He gained a little weight after that.
I can't remember her name, but the girl from Donnie Darko.
You look like Pat Benatar, and he looks like someone that plays like
my lesbian
backup
girlfriend.
bass. Like, I like how neither one of you are smiling.
Yeah, that picture does not look like
happiness.
I don't know how old you are, but it does.
I mean, it
looks like it's way too.
I would
early
say
for that to be you.
We had.
That looks like it's like 87-ish,
Yeah.
88-ish.
Yeah.
That does not look like
that was my hair, and I found out.
2009.
So I went back. I moved to New York, and I visited this dad and this girl one time after having moved away. And I guess he had cleaned up his act too. This father used to sell
He quit
his meth.
selling kids meth.
Yeah, because I mean, we would sit in the garage.
That's a very low bar. Like, all I got to do is quit selling kids meth, and my life will be better.
Yeah, I mean, his friend blew me my meth pipe like out of a glass air freshener. You can. That's how you do it. You buy them at 7-Eleven. You wash out the air freshener part, and then you can fire it up and blow it into a meth pipe. So, like, when he saw me, like a year later, he looked like he saw a ghost because I guess he knew that his daughter was 17 and he knew that her boyfriend was 17, but he thought I was in my 20s or something. I don't know. He was very alarmed to find out I was also 17, but we were all 17, so.
We're in the same grade.
And you could just see on his face, like, he was like, I hope you didn't tell anybody. And it's like, because
That he was selling you meth?
Well, yeah, because he also has this wife who has no idea this is happening. Like, she came home from work early one day, so we're all in the garage, we're smoking meth. The good thing about meth is, like, unlike weed, even if there's like a cloud of
Where
it.
Where did he get it? I'm just curious. Where did he possibly get it?
I have no idea. I mean, somewhere.
Obviously somewhere, but like, it's just weird. What was his day job?
What did he do? I don't remember what he
Cook.
did.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But he was a functional meth addict. I mean, he did go to work and his wife
so
didn't
he was
know.
on meth
Yeah, I mean,
too.
people can-
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he was we were all smoking meth in the garage, and he had these cameras set up outside of his house, right? And he sees the wife pulling in, and it was just like he grabbed a toolbox, meth pipe, meth, whatever. He just started doing this, and he was like, just act cool. And we were all just sitting there, and it's 7 a.m. and we're all high as fuck. And she's like, "Oh wow, you guys are up early. I'll go in. I'll make some breakfast." Because she was like Vietnamese, and they love to like feed you, but we didn't want anything to eat. We were like, "No, don't."
How good is meth that people get up at 7 a.m. to go do it?
Well, no, we were had
No,
been
they
awake
didn't
all
go to
night.
sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you just didn't go to bed the
Yeah.
night before? Oh. All right, so that'll be, that makes sense.
There you go.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's insane, man. So he's...
I don't do drugs, guys.
Yeah, meth
Never-
was
never
fun.
have.
I mean,
I smoked weed.
look,
once,
if you had
twice.
meth right now, I'd smoke it, just for
No,
shits.
no,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
Well, have we got a surprise for you?
He like comes out from your
Rewind
like, closet.
the clock. Yeah, it's that same. He's like, anyways, this is gonna be $20. It's the
Mr. Johnson, come in here.
It's that kid's dad.
I
He's
mean-
still selling it. He's still like, listen, you got to
Well,
give me some cash for this.
You do stop having fun at a point, though. Like, at first it was like, okay, this is fun, but then you start getting paranoid and you start getting weird. And so there were like 5 of us who were doing this together. And like, I'd get to smoke, with my boyfriend and his brother, but then like other people. And it would always be like, well, we got to, so-and-so, I think is skimming meth and whatever. And it got really weird. One of our friends, he got so gaunt and he had these big blue eyes. He looked psychotic, and the bottom half of his face was just scabs from picking that his family thought he had skin disease, herpes. So they got his skin tested, and then when that came back nothing, they were like, you're getting drug tested. So then we did the whole, I think it's called niacin. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's a pill you can take where you feel like you're burning from the inside out, and essentially it helps you pass a drug test. You like sweat it out or whatever. So I watched this person who looks
So anyone that buys niacin is obviously trying to
pass a drug
test.
I mean, I don't see any other reason to take
Well,
something.
where
like
do
that.
you buy niacin?
They were able to buy it. So there were shops before weed was legal in California. They were like head shops where you could go in and buy pipes, and you could buy nitrous chargers that you could set off and huff, and they would buy it there.
I know GNC you can buy, like, if you're going to take a drug test, a drink that you do that supposedly clears you out in 24 hours.
This
It doesn't
was like
wipe it
that.
out of your system. It just makes it so that it doesn't show up for like 24 hours. But you got to do it like right at that exact time.
Yeah.
If you fuck around and do it
I take
some
all
other
my
time.
drug tests with a fake penis.
Yeah, that's it.
With
There you
Ray's
go.
penis.
I haven't taken a drug test in a long time.
Neither have I. Thank God, right?
Have you had to take a drug test?
No.
know-
You want to hear a fucking crazy thing? This I'll never understand. Just on that topic
They don't
of drug
test
tests.
at the BDSM shop that you manage.
No.
I like you have
We
to put
cannot get anyone to work here.
Will you please put your nipple clips over here when you're done? Will you put your fucking whips over there? Your leather straps over there. All right, what's your crazy story?
Well, so when I was 15, I ran away from home to Chico, and I was caught, and then I got sent away, right? And at this time, I had definitely smoked a bunch of weed.
I like how your mom's like, you want to run away? Well, now we're going to send you away.
Yeah.
So there you go. You want out of here? Well, guess what, sister?
Yeah.
You're out of here, but on our terms.
You're out of here.
Where'd they send you to?
I got sent to a wilderness program, and then following that, something that they call a therapeutic boarding
That'd be
school.
hilarious if they sent you to where you wanted to go anyways. Like, yeah, this is where I was going to run away to anyways.
I was going
so.
to Disneyland.
What's a therapeutic boarding school?
Well,
You said they called it that.
Well, from my personal experience, it's a lie, is what it is. I'm sure there are some that operate, like with actual therapy and wanting to help people, but the one I went to was not that.
Was it bad?
Yeah, that's a word for what that was.
Oh, okay.
It was,
How long were
A
you
lot
there?
of negative reinforcement.
yeah, like it was a punishment-based therapy system. Like
Oh,
on
geez.
level 1, which is the level that you enter, you're not allowed to wear shoes, you're not allowed to wear tampons, you're not allowed to look at or talk to or have third-party communication with other level 1s.
How did your mom catch you running away? Like, give me the whole backstory.
So, running away, I ran away to Chico,
Why did you
California.
run away?
I ran away because
Where the fuck were you going to go?
I was going to go to Disneyland and then I was going to come home.
Oh, you're being serious. You're going to go to...
Yeah.
You're just going to run away to go to
How
Disneyland?
old were you?
I was 15.
To do what? What in
I was
Disneyland?
going to go party, have some fun, and then come home and face my punishment. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm about to make an extreme move. This is a power move. I know I'm going to get fucked when I come back, so I'm going to go, I'm going to have some fun, and then I'll probably be fucked for
Did
the
you
rest
have
of my life.
money? Where'd you get the money
I
to...
did not have money. That was one of the big boo-boos. So my best friend was 18 at the
You're
time.
just out in front of the driveway hitchhiking. Your mom's going to work. She's like, Katharyn, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Fuck.
My
She
best
saw
friend,
right through this shit.
I was 15. She was 18. She drove me to Chico, and there I stayed with a girl who was a suicide girl at the time. I stayed with her for
Well, obviously not good at suicide.
well, you know
she
that
was
that
still-
porn
You
mean the website?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
What's
tattoo. They have tattoos and.
What's it called?
Suicide Girls.
Suicide
it's
Girls.
like emo
It's soft-
hardcore.
it's softcore porn.
It's
It's
softcore
not-
porn.
it's not
Oh.
like
For
I thought you were saying that it was a suicidal girl, and it's like, well,
No.
obviously she sucks at suicide if she's just hanging out at the house.
It's girls that
Yeah.
it's basically just girls that have tattoos.
Oh, all right. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
And they're
That are
not they're-
naked.
and yeah. And they might be I mean they're all pretty, but they're not like model, you know.
They just have to have tattoos, and
yeah,
that's
just
it?
alternative porn.
yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
you know. So,
All right. So you go and you meet up with her.
when I was 15, but I told everybody I was 17. So
Now I know why that dad was surprised when he found out you were only 17. You told him you're fucking 28.
yeah, right. So I got basically, I mean, there's a lot that happened there, but in the spirit of condensing this, I was found I had been updating my live journal, and I had taken a picture with a hot dog guy who turned out to be like a well-known drug dealer in Chico. So they were able to
What
find
saw
kind of
this?
hot dogs?
it's the crack kind, meth dogs.
Damn it.
So they were
So
able to.
your mom saw this?
Yeah, because I was updating my live journal. They hired private investigators to find me. I was gone 10 days.
Oh, you did run away for 10 days?
Yes.
Oh, and you went to fucking Disneyland? They find you at
No,
Disneyland?
I never made it to
You never
Disneyland.
made it to Disney?
Because I didn't have any money. So my 18-year-old friend drove me to Chico. I was in Chico. I was gonna I feel like the plan was someone was supposed to drive me, and then they were like, we can't drive you. So then somebody was supposed to drive me money, and then his car broke down. So I was like, fuck, now I'm in Chico, and now I have to come up with like a new plan. And so I was gone 10 days. A lot happened. Just a lot
Where are
happened.
you staying?
So after I left the Suicide Girls house, I met a girl who basically, if she had done this correctly, she would be Mark Zuckerberg now. She had a website called lipstickparty.com. It was for scene kids. You'd put like 3 photos. You'd write a profile. It was how you connected with people. This was before Facebook, MySpace, Friendster, before all of that.
Oh, wow.
So she would have, you know what I mean? Like, if I were her, I'd kill myself now because it's like, you just fucked up. But I met her, and I was on her website. So I was like, oh, my God, great to meet you. So this was during spring break. So we told her mom I was on spring break. She also thought I was 17. And I just stayed in this comfortable house with this girl and her mom.
And you knew you were going to go back eventually.
I knew I had to go back. I thought I was going to make it to LA. It was starting to become apparent I was not. I met a guy. I had my first kiss with this guy and this girl. So then this guy was like, do you really have to go to Los Angeles? And he thinks I'm 17 and he's 20. I'm 15. I'm like, yeah, I have like things to do. And I don't have anything to do. Long story long, they find me in Chico. My best friend Barbara also like low-key ratted me out. And then, they put me in a car and drove me to
So who
Utah.
came and found you?
Escorts. They hire
Escorts?
Yeah, that's what they're called. I know, right? Bob's face just went ooh la la. But that's what they.
That'd be great if it was just two slutty.
Not if they were male.
No, that'd be great if it's just two slutty women.
Yeah,
like,
right.
They still look like escorts.
Slutty
like,
cops.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are they get
We're here
hired.
to take you home. But first,
It's funny that there's a business for that.
They start making out with you. Like, we're taking you back to your mom, but in the meantime.
But after this,
Yeah.
they're hired in different capacities. In my capacity, it was to, not reprimand.
Bring you back to your mom.
No, take me to Utah. They drove me to Utah.
Oh, so you didn't even see your mom.
I saw her very briefly in the moment that I was being walked out of this man's apartment, and she went, "I love you, Katharyn," and I said nothing. And then they
Wow, were you mad at your mom?
I was a little. I
You
mean,
did run away.
There was a lot of.
What's your
emotions.
relationship with your mom right now, by the
My
way?
mom and I are good. My brother, who is 20 years older than me, he and I will probably never see eye to eye. I guess that's a polite way of putting it. So he had a lot to do with this whole situation.
he's 8 feet tall.
Yes. So,
He's also missing 2 eyes.
and he's not my brother, and he doesn't exist.
He's an escort.
He's blind. He doesn't let anyone look into his eyes. That's the real reason.
So the point is like after going through an experience like that and getting sent to where I sent, coming out of that, I was like, I'm going to live my life any way I feel like. Like, I understand basic things like go to work.
This is when you're 15.
Yeah. I was
So you were already willing to welcome meth into your life at this time. You're like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Well, that's what I mean. I was like, after going through the experience of like that wilderness program followed by this, therapeutic boarding school and realizing having kind of a crash course into being like, oh, people are bad. They will use any means necessary to propel their own agenda. They'll lie, and they don't care about you. You know, I was kind of like, all right, what I'm going to do with my life is I'm going to make sure I go to work so I can pay my bills. I'm going to make sure I go to school so I can be successful.
What's your job at this point?
I mean, well,
You're just
I was
saying it
17.
hypothetically. You're
I'm
like,
saying like I'm
hypothetically,
looking
if I
at my
have a
I'm
job.
looking at my life. Like it made me focus on my whole life, and I was like, these are the things I'm going to do because I understand.
First
I have
4
to.
years of doing meth, but after that,
Well, yeah, but then I'm
after
gonna
that,
do-
I'm gonna really get my shit together and buckle down.
Yeah, no, I was kind of like, and then I'm going to just do whatever the fuck I want. And if that means trying meth, I'm going to try meth. If that means getting drunk, I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to do what I want, but I'm going to make sure I'm responsible. I was very mean for a while, but now I've added just being a generally nice person to that because, you know, this world is fucking terrible. So you don't need to be an asshole on top of it.
Right.
But I was very upset when I got out of there. It's an alarming environment. Like, that's also like a very mild way of putting it.
Right. Jesus.
You know.
So
These stories and more at the Shillelagh Pub in Edinburgh, Scotland.
The Golf Tavern.
The Golf Tavern.
Wherever.
So all right. But dude, just insane, like how your teen years went, and you still graduated and got into a what college you end up going to?
I went to the New School here
The
in
New
New
School,
York.
okay.
I went to Eugene Lang, which is the liberal arts college, so I have a degree in nothing. But you know, I have it. I hated school, but I did it.
I don't know how you made. Like, how'd you do in high school? But I didn't do that great. I did all right.
I did it.
I got into college. I graduated college.
It wasn't
but
in
was
like
never-
honors classes or anything, but I graduated middle of the pack. It was funny because I went to high school 2 years in upstate in Syracuse, and then 2 years in Houston. And like in Syracuse, I was way down the list. And as soon as I went to, because high school was much easier in Texas than it is in New York. Oh yeah.
I believe that.
You know what's weird? Like when we lived in like Avon, Ohio, I went to a Catholic school, and then we moved to Vermilion. I went to a public school, and I did better in school in the Catholic school, which is supposed to be the tougher school. I think it was just me adjusting to like new kids and new. Although you know what's weird about it, I will say in 4th and 5th grade, 2 years in a row, I won the young authors contest in my school.
And here you are today.
Yeah, and but my parents never thought it was that big of a deal. And I didn't even think it was that big of a deal. But I met Beverly Cleary, the lady that wrote Ramona the Pest.
I loved
the one
Ramona.
Year. And then the other year was Judy Blume was supposed to be there. And I did not meet Judy Blume, but I met the Fitzgerald guy that wrote the great
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's like, I didn't meet Judy Blume, but I met that old Fitzgerald guy.
His name's like John. He wrote the Great Brain books. They were like little kid books too.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Obviously, he didn't meet F. Scott.
Yeah.
his name's like John Fitzgerald or something. And then Beverly Cleary.
I'm
the other
familiar
lady.
with Judy Blume. I have no idea who the first lady you said was.
But
I remember the Ramona lady.
But there was 2 years in a row. I won the stupid young authors contest in my.
It's not stupid. It brought you here, Ray, to this podcast.
Nobody gives a shit.
He does it right.
Real quick before we get out of here, my cousin. We were talking about meth and shit. We were talking to Clint Knorr on this podcast.
Oh, I know Clint. Yeah,
And
the name's
he
familiar.
lived in a shed, and then my cousin. Listened to this, and he's like, "Hey, man, you lived in," which I did live in a shed. My parents
Without meth.
Yeah.
You
My
lived
parents.
in a shed.
My dad built me a bed. We only had 2 bedrooms in our house. So my parents in one, and then me and my 2 sisters in the other. And then right around when I was 14, my
Ray,
dad.
we built you your own house in the backyard.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a shed, Dad. Get in.
It was a storage space. It was like just a storage space. Because here's the deal. I was sharing a room. My 2 teenage sisters.
You were getting ready for the New
God.
York lifestyle.
Yeah, that's basically what he was setting me
course.
up for. There's no air conditioning, no heat.
Ray, here's your crawl.
Just my
Here's the
mattress.
storage space for you.
Yeah.
We built your room under the stairs.
It was just a mattress.
Don't
That
come
was
out
it.
during sunlight.
Jeez.
But what was
that sounds like
insane
where
ab-
I smoked meth.
But what was insane about it? I had a back door, meaning I can leave.
I bet you did.
And I did sneak out in the middle of the night. I wonder why my parents let that happen. Like why they put me in this room where I could leave, and they're probably like, well, he's got no friends. Where's he going to go? And to that logic, touche. But I did leave in the middle of the night, which I'll tell some stories about that sometime. But yeah, it was
leaving in the middle of the night.
yeah.
grew up
It
in a
was me
shed.
trying to go out boozing with kids that were way cooler than me, and I'll tell that story some
So
other
like
time.
with people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like sometimes I think, like reflecting now, like on high school and stuff. I felt like such a loser, but now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I was pretty fucking dope. Like, you
I
know,
tell my
sound
I
like
tell
you
my
were
girlfriend all
cool.
the time, like, I'm like, man, I go, if I could go back to high school, I'd get laid so much. And she's like, ugh, that's gross. And I'm like, I don't mean now. Like if I could,
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah, but still. And I'm like, what do you mean, but still? I go, if I, you know, that's not like I know moves or anything, but I'm saying like, if I wasn't, there's just so much stuff I would do different in high school that I just, you know, knowing what you know now, it'd be like, you know, I never
Right, right.
I never really like talked to girls or anything, and then you realize who gives a shit about,
Cool.
you know, all that stuff is just so
Well, you and I can
ridiculous and
continue on. We'll
meaningless.
go for a little bit, but I'm going to get you out of here.
yes.
Where can we find you on Instagram and all that stuff?
It's Ew. That's spelled EW. Girl, you nasty. Ew, girl, you nasty on Instagram. That's my website. EwGirlYouNasty.com. You know, Facebook's just my name, Katharyn Henson. But Instagram's my jam. You know, because I'm like a teenager in my heart.
Cool. All right, and here I'll take your microphone, and
Oh.
I'll see you in a few hours. We're on
Thank
the
you.
same show
I know.
at New York
Thank
Comedy
you, Ray.
Club.
Yeah,
It was-
thanks for
this was
coming.
fun.
All right, peace.
Great meeting you.
But real quick, 'cause I'll just tell
No, we're done. We don't have to. We can tell it on the next.
All right.
We talk the next episode.
All right.
Unless you really want to. I forgot even what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
Me sneaking out in the middle of the night. We'll talk about it on that. It'll be a cliffhanger, but yeah, I used to. Yeah. All right.
We'll
that's
close
it.
with our guest.
I'll see you.
All right.
Take it
I'll
easy.
see you in a bit.
Have a good day.
All right. See you guys next
Stay cool.
time.
Step up to the G hole.